I'm Olivia. I'm the Southern Yankee Stitcher. I'm back for my Flosstube number 14. It's been 2 weeks since I did my last Flosstube. I've been so busy. I'm so busy, y'all. I think I told you in last video that I had a couple events coming up to honor veterans here in our community, and I was the planner and kind of heading those up. Boy, they took so much of my time. They went off really well, but I was exhausted when it was all done. First, on November 11th, Veterans Day, we were at our local Veterans Center, and they have a big big Veterans Day thing going on there every year. And vendors and businesses in different places set up with tables, and they have gifts for every veteran that comes through. Well, before that got started, we had a little ceremony planned out in front of the Veterans Center to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. We originally planned it for 9:30, thinking that the veterans event started at 10, and we'd have a captive audience, so to speak, people waiting to get in. That's what they told us, that each year they wait to get in. Well, they ended up changing that event to 11. So our event, we'd already advertised and told everybody it was 9:30, so we kept it at 9:30. We had about 25 people there, and I did a little speech about the history of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, and we placed a wreath. A couple of other DAR chapters came, and they placed wreaths too, and that was it. It actually started raining, just real light rain in the middle of it, right by the time I started speaking. And everybody seemed to have an umbrella there because we thought it might rain, but it kind of added to the somberness of the event, and I thought it went off pretty well. You know, we didn't have as many people there, but between 20 and 30, that was good. That was pretty good for me. I'm not a public speaker, so I was nervous about speaking, and of course I wrote up what I was going to say, and I pretty much read it is what I did. But anyway, then the following week on November 18th was the bigger event, and that's where the mobile education exhibit from Reads Across America came to our town, and they said they were pretty sure it's the first time they had been in South Carolina. And wherever they go here recently to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the end of the Vietnam War, they have a welcome home Vietnam veteran ceremony each place, because those veterans weren't treated well when they came home from war. And I mean, no matter what you think about the events that are going on and the conflicts, you got to support our veterans. Back in that time, a lot of them were drafted, so their opinion of the event didn't matter. But even those that volunteered to represent our country and protect our country and all they do, I mean, veterans really need to be celebrated and thanked. Excuse me. So that's what they did, and we had a big ceremony there. We had a retired general speak. Some of our local delegation spoke, and I spoke. There's about 300 people there for that event, and it went off really well. And I don't know what it was, but I was not nervous about speaking at all. I feel like I did a good job, and I was really nervous about it because I was stepping outside my comfort zone, speaking in front of especially a group of people that large. But we honored 41 veterans during our ceremony, and then about another 20 were honored throughout the day as they came to go through the exhibit that was set up, and some family members came for some that were in the hospital or too sick to come, that kind of thing. But it was a very moving ceremony. Some of the veterans that came through, a lot of the Vietnam veterans are in their 70s, and one gentleman in particular, he just, I mean, he had me teared up, of course. And I talked to the people that run this mobile unit that go from town to town, and I said, I don't know how you all do it. And they're like, well, we don't wear the lady who was working it said, I don't wear any makeup, that's for sure, because, you know, there's a lot of tears. And this man talked about the real heroes were the ones that didn't come home, and the parents who cried themselves to sleep every night not knowing if their child was going to come home or not. And, you know, he said he had a lot of survivor's guilt, and he was tearing up and crying. And it's just, oh, terrible thing. But we got to do something nice for them, and that felt really good to do. And we're going to keep doing that with placing the wreaths in a month on veteran graves here in our town. And about 125, between 125 and 130 8th graders came. And so many people commented how well behaved they were. The people running the mobile education exhibit said they were, you know, impressed with their patriotism and how moved that they were by the ceremony, and they spoke about it. And they said they've gone some places where 8th graders don't even know what a veteran is. They don't know what that word means. And these people, like I said, it was their first time in South Carolina, and they were really impressed with the amount of patriotism and the people that came out. They said, you know, we honored about 70 Vietnam veterans today, and we just left another community that was a larger community than this, and there were only 3 that day. So it was a good thing that happened. I'm glad it's over, because I felt like that's all I did for weeks. Every spare moment, that's what I worked on. I had a bunch of phone calls coming in, just all kinds of things. But so these last 2 weeks, I did some stitching, but I didn't do a lot of stitching, y'all. I just didn't do a lot. By the time I came home, I was wore out. And I did work some on the stocking that I had to rechart, and I'll tell you about that in a little bit. And I worked on secret stitching. I did a lot of that, and I finished up most of it. The end is in sight. I think it'll be ready for Christmas. The stocking I'm worried about. Will it be ready for Christmas? But I think it will. But I in these last 2 weeks, I got a lot of Stitchy Kindness, happy mail, whatever you want to call it. And I was just floored, because it just came. This stuff came in a time where I was stressed over planning these events. I had some changes in plans, and things didn't go quite according to the way we planned them, but they ended up working out good in the end. But it was just stressful, and some people, I ran into a few people that weren't very kind in dealing with all this. But that's all over with and done, and you know, I don't have to worry about it. But I just want to say, these things just came at you know, when I had a bad day and I came home and I had something in the mail. Talk about happy mail. I mean, it really makes you feel good to receive something that's just, you know, unnecessary, but very appreciated. Somebody that's known as Joe Bug sent me a message and said, I'd like to send you something, and maybe you'd like to stitch it. Would you mind? And I was like, no, no. So I got this package last week, and in it were 3 charts that this person sent to me, and they were just so kind, and they were like, yay, I get to make somebody happy today. I mean, and she did. She really did. I got this first chart. I don't know. This chart's from 2003 by Lottie Da, and it's Miss Mary Mack. So when I got this, I showed my kids and my husband. I was like, look what somebody sent me. Look at this. I said, it's so nice. Like we didn't even do an exchange or anything. They just said, can I send you something? And I'm like, sure. And then here it is. My youngest daughter and I had to figure out this Mary Mack thing, which, you know, all the hand claps, how you do that. I'm not sure I remembered it quite right, but we did do it a little bit. And there's another chart This is from Creative Poppy. It's a blackwork angel. That's what this was really pretty too. You see that chart. And then this was probably my favorite of the three. Not that, you know, you should pick favorites, but I really like this one. This is from Lila's Studio, A Quaker Welcome. I know you all have seen this before, but I haven't, I mean, I didn't have this in my stash or anything, but this is my style for sure. And I can't wait till I get some of this Christmas stitching done. This is probably gonna be high on my list for the first of the year to start that for sure. Then I did the floss drop exchange, the Great Floss Drop Exchange. I don't know if you all have done any of that, but it's been fun. It's been really fun. Some of them are so pretty, I hate to punch a hole in them, but I'm gonna make myself punch holes in them and use them. And a couple of these, I hope I haven't shown you already. I tried to keep them aside before I do anything with them, if I haven't shown them, so I can show them to you. And I'll go through these real quick, but these are from Barb. Aren't they pretty? Like those pastel colors, I thought, oh, I would like to use those for like a spring Eastery chart. This is from Lynn, and this is it's a small piece that she purchased from an antique dealer at needlepoint. That's pretty. Shelly sent these. It has some of her decor, some of her stitching, and like a shaker box there and other decor. That's cool. These are from Barbara Raspberry Stitcher. I feel like I've shown these, but I'm just going to show them again because they were in the pile of the ones I haven't shown. But these are so pretty. I love botanicals. My mom always had a lot of botanicals, flowers, and like the flowers with the birds. I still love those. These are from Karen. Very like Jane Austen like. I love Jane Austen. This is another Karen, and these are also kind of like along the same kind of vibe. But the first Karen lived in California, and this one lives in Florida. Aren't they pretty? The one for stitching. These next are from Kristen, and she sent two different ones. The first one is of a bee scornu. Got the bee pattern on it. And the second one is Love is Love is Love. They were cool. Carlene sent these. I don't know if she took that. That's pretty creative doing that little picture right there. The heart with the DMC floss. I like that. Vicky sent, she also sent two types. One is like the girl with the bonnet, like a quilt. My grandmother did, great-grandmother, quilted some girls in bonnets, but they weren't this detailed. I'll show them to you one time. And then let's stitching there. And let's see, this last one, this one I thought was really cool. This was from Ramona. And she stitched this. She said it was, I think she said her father's family home in New York. You know I love something that has a personal touch to it. And my childhood home, I have charted a pattern. And I can't decide what to do with it. First I did one and I had a lot of, made it like sampler like. The, I hope I haven't told you all this, but there's a French pattern, what's it called? I can't remember the name of it. I've been watching several people do it. I think Lisa Kindred Stitcher finished it. Deb on Country Stitchers is still working on hers. And it's got a house on it, and then it's got a big pear, and then the scrolly, beautiful alphabet. And I think I'm repeating myself. Sorry. But the house is very realistic looking, and then everything else is just, you know, the pear's kind of realistic looking too. But I made the house realistic looking, you know, to scale and everything. But then everything else was sampler like, and I didn't really like the way what I came up with. So then I simplified it, and I simplified it quite a bit. So it was really just a chart of the house with a border and the name. I'm just not sure that I'm 100% sold on what I have. So I'm still thinking about that, and I hope that's something I can do next year. You know, I've been working on this Rocky Springs Schoolhouse, and I've had to put that on the back burner. I'm just getting nervous about the time in Christmas, and I have some things, like I said, I've been doing secret stitching I have to finish, and then the stocking I'm going to show you, I need to finish that stocking. I need to get on the horn, get this stuff done. I was babysitting yesterday my grandsons. They're 2 and 4, and my daughters were here with me too. My son was, well, they were in and out. He's moving from an apartment to a house, and so I was helping watch the kids like during nap time and stuff. So you know, he could take advantage of some time with when they were sleeping to go get some moving done. Well, I stitched. I was working on that stocking all day yesterday. Y'all, my hand, it's not even my stitching hand. The hand that I stitch in hand. And the hand where I hold the fabric, I woke up in the middle of the night. It hurt so bad. I could tell it was swollen inside this part of my hand. And I couldn't hardly move my fingers. I mean, it hurt. So I ended up getting up in the morning, real early in the morning, and icing it. And I've been stitching some more, and I said, I just can't. Hey, I'm gonna have to work through. I have another injury from cross stitch. I'm just gonna work through it. I think what I do, I'm sure this is what it is. I'm so into what I'm stitching that I get kind of white knuckled with the hand whatever I'm holding in my hand. Sometimes it's a lot of fabric rolled up, and sometimes it's not. But I just need to relax that hand a little bit. I don't have to white knuckle the fabric, you know, to hold it tight. But I just tend to do that kind of thing. I do that sometimes when I'm driving too. Have y'all ever done that? You're driving and you're like, why am I gripping the steering wheel so tight? It's just something I do. All right, well, I have a little bit of haul. I ordered some things from Fire Poppies, and I needed to get floss for one of the secret stitching things I'm doing. I ran out of 2 colors. I ended up, what was supposed to just kind of be an accent color, well, like outline and stuff, I ended up like filling in the whole thing, like full coverage. So I used a lot more floss than I expected, but I like the way it looks. But so I ordered from Fire Poppies since they're in the state, and you know, people say nothing can travel alone. Well, it was already not traveling alone, but I had to like pop on the clearance aisle and see if there's something I could just throw in there too. Because I thought, oh, I don't want to make them get all that trouble for 5 skeins of floss a week, you know. So I ended up getting this fabric. It was on sale, and it's kind of a rosy, tannish color. It's pretty true to what you're seeing there. This is Swiss, what's it called? Swiss mocha? That doesn't look like it says mocha. Swiss cocoa. Cocoa. C-O-C-O-A, however you like to say that. 30 count linen is what this is. And I thought, yeah, that'll be good for some kind of sample or something. I can definitely find something to put on that. So I got that. The floss I've already put in with the piece I'm working on. I don't have that to show you. But it was Weeks, Galvanized, and Dove. Dove is like a kind of a muted minty green. And Galvanized is what you think of. It's gray. And it's for the chart that I'm working on. Let me see what else I have here. Well, I may have told you that I'm really trying to give handmade gifts to all my immediate family. And I think I know I have 5 people in my immediate family. I'm talking about my children, my husband, including my daughter-in-law when I say my children. The women, they're good. They're good. I have their stuff well on the way, I'll say. My son, I'm a little worried that I'm not going to get that done. I haven't even started on his. But I might. I have something I can use as a backup, but it's not really what I want to give to him. But my husband, I'm giving him a quilt. I made a quilt, and I know I've mentioned this before, y'all, out of flannel shirts. I had some flannel shirts, and I went to the thrift store where they had like a sale. You could like put all the clothes in the bag that you could fit in a grocery bag for $5 or something crazy. And I picked out plaid shirts. I wanted to make a nice wintry kind of warm quilt, and I saw where somebody had done that. This is really the first quilt I ever made. I've made like doll quilts for my daughters when they were little for their dolls and that kind of thing, but never any other kind of quilt. Well, when I had it all pieced together, I have the binding. The binding's not on, I have the backing on and the puffy stuff you put in the middle. What's that quilt batting called? Quilt batting, cotton quilt batting in there. And I started to quilt it on my machine, that machine. And it was probably 5 years ago that I worked on that quilt. One of the gears broke in it. And that's from, I think it was the late 60s. That's how old that machine is. And when I read up on it, when it quit working, I couldn't figure out what was wrong. I read up a little bit on it on the internet, and it seems to be pretty popular because all the machine parts are metal, and a lot of them that you get now are plastic. So I took it to the local sewing machine vacuum place that does repairs, and they fixed it. So the gear was broken. It didn't cost a whole lot to fix it, and I brought it back home. Well, then I was kind of scared. Like, was the quilt too much for it? So I still didn't pull the quilt out. It was still packed, in the closet. And I was like, I don't know if I'm ever going to finish this quilt. Well, I have a lady I know. We were master gardeners together, and she also does a lot. She does a lot of volunteer work with children and stuff, and I know her from that too. And she has a long arm machine. She has a long arm business. So I thought, why don't I just take that quilt to her? I know it's not great. It's just square blocks, it's not great. And those seams are not perfectly lined up either. But it is going to be like a comfy quilt, you know, like you're going to want to sleep under that quilt. So I contacted her. She told me what the price would be. I said, okay, I need to get it out and measure it. I pulled it out, went to measure it. And I thought I had messed up with all the quilting work I had done. But it didn't look that bad. I mean, I knew I wasn't going to get my lines perfectly straight. So I've seen quilts where they just kind of do all these just like horizontal lines, kind of, some of them intersect and cross over, and I was like, well, I'm not going to worry about it then if they, you know, go with something like that. Well, I thought I had done a bunch of that on there that looked terrible. I pulled it out yesterday and I don't see all that on there. So I think I'm going to be able to just finish it up myself, machine quilt it, finish machine quilting it, because it's about halfway done. Then I just have to do the binding. I don't have a lot to do on that quilt. It wasn't worth, because I thought I was going to take out all the quilting I had done and then just take it to a long arm, you know, and pay a few $100s to get that done. Well, I'm not going to rip all, it's halfway quilted, so I'm just going to finish it up, and that's going to be a gift to my husband, because when I started like 5 years ago, that was my intention. He didn't know that was my intention to give it to him, but that was my intention all along. So he's finally going to get that gift this Christmas that started 5 years ago. The first quilt I ever made. All right, so my one and only whip these last two, well, that I can show you these last 2 weeks, is this designed by Mary Ann Savage, Peace on Earth stocking. I know last time I did this video, I couldn't find this, and it was right in front of me. It just slipped between two things. I don't know. But do you remember the dilemma where the toe is going the opposite direction? The toe of all the other stockings except for mine and my husband's go in this direction, and this is backwards. So, and I went and made mirror image copies of it. I also made some regular image copies of it, and sat down and tried to figure out what I need to do to make it work, because the exact mirror image, first of all, the words will be backwards. Well, that wouldn't be a big deal. I could change the letters and leave all the background. But, you know, peace would say peace going this way. You get to the end, you don't go backwards on the ribbon to then read on and earth. It wasn't going to make sense because of that. So what I decided to do was leave this whole section of the stocking the same. Then this angel, I flip her the other direction. I probably won't. I may bring this tail around this way a little bit to the ribbon, or I may just be like it's under the angel and you don't see it. But that's what I'm going to do. It'll be all pretty much the same, except that angel will end up over here. So I did the mirror image copy of this angel and cut it out with scissors. And sorry, I'm getting a text from my daughter. She went to go pick up a desk she bought, and I was just making sure she wasn't having problems. It wasn't anything important. So the stocking, so the work that I did was correct, because I'm not changing that part. However, it was too far over. There wasn't enough room on the piece of cloth that came in this kit to go this direction. And I was like, well, I'm not going to bother frogging all that out. I'm just going to get a new piece of Ada. This was last Sunday. I was working on it. I finally had sat down and decided what to do. The Ada I had was too narrow. It wouldn't work. So I did have to frog out. I had almost this whole section done right here, if y'all remember. I had to frog all that out, shift it all over. So that's what I've done. And I started again. I frogged it all out, started it all over, so it shifted over to this side a little more, since the toe is going to go out this way. That's where the toe will go. And it's coming together. I've worked on this just this week. You know, last Sunday's when I decided what I was going to do with the chart, and I just started. I've really only worked on this about, well, I did a lot of it yesterday, which is why my hand was hurting. And last Sunday I did some, but the rest of the week I didn't do hardly any stitching. I was just too busy or mentally exhausted to do any stitching. So, oh gosh, that scared me. Y'all, I just about had a heart attack. This, can you see this yellow right here? I thought it was something on the cloth. No, it was that shining through. I just thought, oh no, what got on here? But it's not. It's not anything on my fabric, thank goodness. So, my plans for this week are to work on this bad boy right here. Work on some of the other secret stitching I have. And if I get time, I will work on the quilt. The quilt, I mean, I could see myself Christmas Eve or the day before working on that quilt to finish it up, because I have a lot to do before Christmas. I have a lot to do before Christmas. Thanksgiving's coming up next week. I have family coming in from out of town. We normally host Thanksgiving last year because of, you know what, no one really traveled and came to see us for Thanksgiving, and you know, of course we understood that. So it was just immediate family here. Normally I have between 20 and 30 people. This year, there are some that are still on the fence. They're not sure if they're coming or not. I have for sure, what did I say? I think 16 for sure that are coming. So it's not as big a group as we normally have, but that's okay because we're going to have a good time. My sister will be here she'll come in town from Maryland on Wednesday, one of my sisters, and she'll go back Saturday or Sunday, I don't know which. My brother's coming from the Raleigh, North Carolina area. He and his wife and their 4 adult children, I think. He told me it was 6 coming. I assume those are the 6 that are coming. It could be one of the kids are not coming and somebody's bringing, you know, a significant other. I don't know. Whoever comes is welcome. Anybody's welcome to come. One of my sisters that lives near Hilton Head says she's not been feeling well. Her dog has issues going on right now. She can't board the dog, so she's not sure she can come. And anyway, a cousin who normally comes, I don't think he's going to come. His mother's in. She's, oh gosh, how old is she? 96 or 97. And she's in pretty good, I think she's gotten where she's pretty much bedridden now. But I think she's still pretty sharp in her mind, and he's, you know, caring for her, so she can't travel, and he won't come without her, I don't think. But I am looking forward to Thanksgiving. We always have a good time. Since we don't see each other at Christmas anymore, we used to get together Christmas Eve when almost everyone lived in Maryland. But since we don't do that now, we always do a gag gift exchange on Thanksgiving. You bring a gag gift and, you know, you throw them all in the middle of the table. Everybody gets a number. You draw your number, you take a gift, or you can steal a gift. You know, it can only be stolen so many times. We like to do it where you don't open the gift. So you think it might be, you think it's something really good. Well, they're all gag gifts. None of them are great gifts. Some of them might be okay, you know, but try and make it a gag gift is what we try and do. Just something funny, just to be silly and just to have fun, play a game. My family's always played a lot of games. Family Feud was a big game we played at the Thanksgiving table when I was a kid growing up. My mom was always, well, it wasn't, who's the host of Family Feud now? Oh gosh. I can't think of his name. Black guy with the big mustache. Anyway, of course he wasn't the host then. It was Richard Dawson back then. Remember he used to kiss everybody? Well, all the women anyway, he would kiss. Anyway, he was the host of Family Feud back in the 70s and 80s, I guess it was. And so we always said, who's going to be Richard Dawson, you know, and played Family Feud. But we'll just do this gag gift exchange this year. And my mom really is not in condition to come. I just don't think it would be good for her with her physical limitations and also her dementia. She wouldn't understand having to go back for sure. I don't know that we could really handle her. So we're going to just try and go as a group to visit her there. When we had her birthday back in September, there was a room that you could kind of like reserve. And so we all would meet with her there. But they've told us they have new CDC guidelines for the holidays and they want to keep large groups to a minimum. And so we're not sure what they're going to allow. If it's a pretty day, like it's gotten, it was chilly yesterday, and last night it was pretty cold, but it's pretty nice out there today. And if it's like that, we could, bundle her up and then I'll visit with her outside. Go there and do that is what we'll probably do. And that might be better for her than, bringing her here in a closed area with a bunch of people who are from different areas and she might get sick. We don't want that. We don't want that. You can't wear a mask while you're eating your Thanksgiving dinner either. So that's kind of a bummer that this is the first Thanksgiving we've had that she won't be at, But we're going to try and make the best of it and still plan some visits and do some things. And if we can all go and maybe play Family Feud while we're there with her, do something. She loves to play games and stuff like that. So that's what we're going to try and do. So I'll be doing a lot of cooking this week and visiting. And the last couple of years, I haven't done Black Friday. My youngest sister and I, she comes every year, almost every year for Thanksgiving. And we would look at the sale ads Thanksgiving Day. We'd make our plan. We'd get a couple hours sleep and then get up 2 or 3 in the morning and go out. Well, now, everything starts Thanksgiving Day or at midnight. And it's just, I don't know, it lost some of the appeal to me. She still goes out. And she's actually been going out and doing things with my kids and her kids. She wants to go out and fight the crowds, and I'm kind of like, I'm a little over it, We used to wait in line. I remember waiting in line at Old Navy for like over an hour for a pair of pajama pants. It was about the experience and the fun of it. It wasn't about getting the pajama pants for cheap. No, that's not what it was about. So I don't know if we'll do any of that this year. Most of the, gift giving I'm doing are going to be handmade gifts, and for the grandsons, I'm going to buy that stuff online, probably. I know it's not as much fun, but I don't know. Some people just are so rude, and it's just not fun for me anymore to get out in that mess. I do still like going like the week before Christmas and the hustle and bustle and getting some last minute things. And even if I'm just getting, fuzzy socks to put in the stocking or something, I do like getting out and hustle and bustle. I'm just not sure I want to do it on Black Friday. So I hope you all have a great Thanksgiving and you are able to spend some time with family or friends, and you know, just think about things that we're thankful for. You know, I tell you, you know, all the experiences I've had with veterans in the last couple of weeks, we have a lot to be thankful for. And you know, especially here in the United States, we have a lot to be thankful for. We really shouldn't complain the way we do with the way some people have to live. And so I hope that you all remember things that you're thankful for and have a great Thanksgiving. I will see you probably in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I'll still have family here next Sunday, so I'm probably not going to make a video then, but I will see you the following week. And maybe I'll have some finishes I can show you. Hopefully. Bye.